Hello, mighty companions. This is Earl Purdy, and I want to welcome you to Hardcore Course in Miracles here on Facebook Live. And we're going to be talking about where your safety really is and what you can really count on for your safety. In your defenselessness, your safety lies. And what does that mean? Well, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about where real safety comes from, in case you want to feel that in this world that we're in. And we're going to start out with a song from our brother John Christmas. And looking forward to us going, this is going to be a deep session. I'll tell you this, if you're new to the Course in Miracles, this may be a challenging session for you, but it's no accident that you're watching this, so I would still advise you to check it out. Here we go. I would like you to take a breath right now and just relax and get centered. Teach only love, that is what you are, only love. Yes, that is what you are, teach only love. That is what you are. Teach only love. Everywhere you go, teach only love. To everyone you know, teach only love. That is what you are. Hey, yeah. Let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Let me recognize the problem so the problem can be solved. Teach only love. Each and every day, teach only love. Special way, teach only love. Love is what you are. I get really excited when I think about doing the Thursday class because it's hardcore. And so it's really primarily focused on people who are interested in the Course in Miracles seriously. And who want to go deep. And if you are serious about the Course in Miracles, if you're sincere about the Course in Miracles, then I would like to give you the advantage of my 43 years of teaching and studying A Course in Miracles. Because you need to remember this if you want to get the most out of the Course in Miracles. I'm telling you now, if you want to get the most out of A Course in Miracles, you need to get this attitude that I'm about to share with you right now, which is, remember only this: you need not believe the ideas. You need not accept the ideas. You need not even welcome the ideas. Some of the ideas you may actively resist. And some of the ideas you may find hard to believe. And some of the ideas may startle you. Do you know that you are not being asked to judge the ideas at all? You're not being asked to analyze and judge the ideas at all. So what are you being asked to do? What is the Course in Miracles asking you to do? The Course in Miracles is asking you to use the ideas. The Course in Miracles is asking you to use the ideas. Do you know that it is the use of the ideas that will give the ideas meaning to you and will show you that the ideas are true? I really need this. I really need this. And I hope you do too. We're going to be on lesson 153 in the Course in Miracles workbook, the blue book, this one. We're going to be on lesson 153. It's on page 284 in the Course in Miracles workbook, page 284, lesson 153. In my defenselessness, my safety lies. Your safety lies in your defenselessness. You who feel threatened, do you feel threatened? You who feel threatened by this changing world, does this changing world threaten you? Are you feeling threatened about something right now? You who feel threatened by this world's twist of fortune and its bitter jokes, you who feel threatened by this world's brief relationships and all the things and all the gifts that the world merely lends to take away again, you who feel threatened, you need to really pay attention to this lesson. If there's anything in your life that you're feeling threatened by right now, you really need to pay attention to this lesson. So let me tell you what the Course in Miracles says about the world of fear, the world of the ego. The world provides no safety. Do you know this world does not make you safe? This world does not provide real safety. There's no real safety in the world. Now, why is it that there's no real safety in the world? Well, there's no real safety in the world because the world is rooted in the idea of attack. The world is rooted in the idea of attack. And all the world's gifts of seeming safety are illusory deceptions. Everything, do you know that everything the world teaches you that will make you safe is a lie? There's nothing in the world that makes you truly safe. It's a lie whenever the world tells you that there's something in the world that's going to make you really feel safe, because the Course in Miracles says the world attacks and then the world attacks again. At a lesser level, it looks like there's something that is frightening you or making you feel threatened or making you angry again and again and again and again and again. There's always something that you look at the news and we're constantly being told what we need to look out for, what is the latest thing that's threatening us or that will make us feel unsafe. And the Course in Miracles says, you know what? No peace of mind is possible where danger threatens. If you always feel like you're in danger, if there's something that you need to be afraid of all the time, if there's something that you've got to look out for all the time, then you're never going to have any peace of mind. How are you going to have peace of mind when you feel like you are unsafe? One of the things that I love about the Course in Miracles, it's a challenge to teach because it just tells you the truth about what's really going on. It just tells the truth. It says, you know, if you feel threatened by this changing world, then the Course in Miracles is saying, well, you need to pay attention to what this lesson is about to tell you. First of all, it tells you that it is possible for you to be safe. But you also need to recognize that the world is not going to provide that safety. And you're never going to feel peace of mind if you feel threatened. So this world, do you know this world just gives rise to defensiveness? The world makes you feel like you need to be defensive. Fear gives rise to defensiveness. A world of fear gives rise to defensiveness. Now, when you study in the Course in Miracles student, I would advise you after 43 years of teaching that you need to give yourself a quiet place where you can just take the Course in Miracles very slowly, read what it says. First, you need to hear what it's saying. Let go of your need to think you need to understand what you're reading immediately. But the first step is to let yourself hear it. So the first thing that it's saying is the world just gives rise to defensiveness. Because when you feel threatened, when you feel like you could be hurt, do you know that that threat, or if you feel like something or someone is threatening you, the Course in Miracles says that brings anger. So when someone feels angry with you, or you feel angry at someone, that means you feel that you are being threatened. And whenever a person feels like they're being threatened, it makes them angry. And what happens when a person feels angry? Well, the Course in Miracles says, well, when a person feels angry, then that makes attack seem reasonable. If I'm getting angry at you, it seems reasonable that I need to attack you. If I feel threatened by you, it feels like maybe I need to attack you in order to feel safe. I need to defend myself in order to feel safe. So anger makes attack seem reasonable. Anger makes attack seems honestly provoked. You provoke me. I feel angry. I feel unsafe. I feel threatened. So now I feel like my desire to attack you is honestly provoked. And I feel like my attacking you back because you're threatening me and hurting me, I feel like attacking you back is righteous in the name of self-defense, right? If you attack me, then I feel very honestly provoked, and it seems reasonable that then I would attack you back in the name of self-defense. So I want you to think about a situation or a person that you feel threatened by right now, and that would be anything that you feel angry about. Is there anything that you feel angry about? Is there anyone that you feel angry toward? Okay, then that means that you're not feeling peace of mind right now when it comes to that person or when it comes to that situation that you're dealing with right now that you feel angry and upset about. It means that you don't feel safe right now. And so because you feel threatened, you feel like attack is a reasonable response, or anger is a reasonable response because you feel threatened. So the world and all the things that we are supposed to be afraid of that's going on in the world just makes all of us feel defensive. Like we're being threatened by each other, that we then feel angry at each other. And then when we feel angry at each other, we feel like it's okay to attack each other in self-defense. But defensiveness is more than just a single threat. Feeling defensive, according to the Course, it says defensiveness is actually a double threat. Because if you believe that you can be hurt, then you also believe that you must be weak. Because if you were really strong, or believed you were really strong, you wouldn't feel so defensive. So if I feel weak, then I'm going to be extra defensive because I think I'm so easily hurt. So defensiveness is really a double threat. Because do you know that when you feel defensive, the Course says it attests to weakness. So when you feel weak, what are you going to do? You're going to set up a system of defense. You're going to come up with some way that you're going to try to protect yourself. You're going to come up with some way that you need to defend yourself when you feel threatened. But what is it that the Course in Miracles says? It says, yeah, you're going to set up a defense, but you're going to set up a defense that cannot work. Now, are the weak still further undermined? See, when you're weak, or you think you're weak, and then you're going to come up with a way to protect yourself because you feel so threatened, the Course in Miracles says, well, you're going to come up with a plan for your protection that can't work. And if you are weak and you're making defensive plans, the Course in Miracles says, if you're weak, then you see there is treachery without. We think that there's something on the outside of us that might harm us or might hurt us. But if you don't love yourself, do you know that if you think you are weak and you think you don't love yourself and you think you're weak and you think you can be hurt and you think somebody is hurting you right now, you not only see treachery on the outer, the Course in Miracles says you also see even a greater treachery within. And okay, now what does that mean? That there's a treachery on the outside? Well, the treachery on the outside is obviously me thinking that there's something or someone outside of me that can hurt me that I got to defend myself against. But what is the inner treachery? Inner treachery is believing that you are weak, believing that you have no spiritual strength. Inner treachery is believing that you're separate from God, separate from love, separate from the truth. So the Course in Miracles says you think that you are doing yourself in because you're not loving yourself the way that you should, and you're judging yourself and criticizing yourself in some way or seeing yourself as weak. And then you're also seeing yourself as threatened by what you perceive to be a person or a situation or circumstance that's threatening you right now, that's keeping you from feeling safe. So then it looks like there's treachery on the outer and treachery on the inner. So what happens when you believe there's something to be afraid of on the outside and there's something to be afraid of on the inside? Well, the Course in Miracles says the mind is now confused, which means the mind does not know where to find escape from its imagined threat. So what happens when your mind is confused, when you feel threatened and angry and upset? Your mind becomes confused because it doesn't know where to turn to find escape from the sense of danger and anger and threat. Take a breath. This is hardcore Course in Miracles for Course in Miracles students, but it's also available to anyone who wants to listen because this applies to everybody, whether you're a Course in Miracles student or not. See, it's just like, it's like you're inside this circle that's holding your mind, wherein there's another circle around it and another circle around that. You know, there's more and more things to feel that's dangerous and that you need to defend yourself against. And so it looks like there's so much to defend against. There's so much we need to be afraid of. There's so many things we need to defend ourselves against. The Course in Miracles says that it looks like escape from this danger and this threat and this anger can no longer be hoped for or even obtained. Don't you feel like that sometimes? Don't you feel like you got so many things to deal with, so many things that you're concerned about or worried about that you need to get together or handle, that it looks like there's no escape from the problems, there's no escape from the danger, there's no escape from the upset? So then it looks like you attack, defend. Looks like you're being attacked and you got to defend. It looks like there's something for you to be afraid of that you got to defend against. And so the Course in Miracles says attack, defense, defense, attack. That becomes the circles of the hours and the days that bind your mind. See, when you're in fear and you're worried about stuff and you think you have to protect yourself against stuff, the Course in Miracles says you are binding your mind in heavy bands of steel with iron overlaid, returning, but to start all over again. In other words, doesn't it look like there seems to be no break? Doesn't it seem like sometimes there doesn't seem to be an ending in the ever-tightening grip of the imprisonment of your mind in fear, in worry, in defensiveness, in upset? Doesn't it always look like my mama used to say, if it ain't one thing, it's another. Soon as I get my relationship handled, then all of a sudden I got financial problems. Then I get my financial situation handled, and then I have a health problem. I get my health problem handled, and then I have a job or career problem. I get my job and career problem handled, and then it looks like I got a spiritual problem that I'm dealing with. It looks like we're on the merry-go-round of hell. Just one thing to be defensive about or to be worried about, then another thing to be defensive about and then worried about, and then another thing to be defensive about or to worry about. But do you know that being defensive, that's the costliest of all the prices which our fearful ego mind would exact? Because when you're living your life, do you know when you're living your life, always the feeling like you got to protect yourself or defend yourself? If you're walking around and you feel like everybody's threatening you in some kind of way or they are trying to hurt you in some kind of way, the Course in Miracles says, in that kind of defensiveness lies madness in a form so grim that hope, I love it, that hope of sanity seems to be but an idle dream. It looks like everybody in this world being sane, and it looks like sanity in this world is just an idle dream. It's something we dream of, but it looks like that's something that's never going to happen. It looks like it's beyond the possible that we could all be loving with each other and peaceful with each other and safe with each other. It looks like that's just a friggin' dream, right? It can seem like that. So the Course in Miracles says what next? The sense of threat the world encourages is so much deeper and so far beyond the frenzy and intensity of which you can conceive that you have no idea of all the devastation that having your sense of being threatened has wrought. You have no idea what it's doing to your peace. You have no idea what it's doing to your health. Do you know you have no idea what it's doing to your happiness to always feel like you're threatened or unhappy or worried or concerned by something all the time, broken into by a few periods which you let yourself feel pretty good? You are the slave of your sense of threat. Do you know you are a slave to your fears if you're walking around feeling defensive and threatened and like you have to protect yourself against something that's going to hurt you all the time? The Course in Miracles is saying you are a slave to your fear. Do you know that you might be a slave to your sense of threat? You don't know what you're doing. That's what the next line says in the Course. You know not what you do in fear of, it. What do you mean? Well, it says, well, you don't understand how much you've been made to sacrifice. You don't even know how much you are sacrificing by living a life where you feel like you're angry and upset about something and you've got to defend against something that you think is going to threaten you or hurt you all the time. The Course in Miracles is saying to us, you don't know how much you've been made to sacrifice, who feel the iron grip of fear and defensiveness and feeling threatened by something or someone. What is it else? What else you don't realize? Well, the Course in Miracles says, well, you also don't realize what you have done. What do you mean, I don't realize what I've done? Well, you don't realize what you've done to sabotage the peace of God. You don't know how much you've done to sabotage the peace of love and happiness. You don't know how much you have sabotaged your own peace by feeling threatened and defensive and concerned and worrying and trying to be safe in a world that there is no real safety in the world. There is safety for you, but not in the teachings and the beliefs of a fearful, angry, separate world. So you don't realize how much you've done to sabotage the holy peace of God by your defensiveness. So what do you mean? I like to teach in the question-answer format because I'm sure that's what you're doing, that you're hearing something from the Course, and then you're saying, well, what does that mean? Well, I'll tell you what it means. You're the unlimited child of God. You are an unlimited spiritual being. You are spirit. You are spirit having a human experience. You are spirit having the experience of being a separate being. You are spirit giving yourself the experience of being a human being. You are an eternal, unlimited love that is giving yourself the experience of being a being in a human body that is separate in a world that looks like it can hurt you from time to time. So that is the ego. So if a person feels afraid, if a person feels threatened, if a person feels defensive, the Course says, for you behold the Son of God, you behold the child of God as just a victim to attack by fantasies, by dreams, and by illusions and false ideas that that child of God has made. In other words, we are the creators of our experience. We are creating whatever we are experiencing and how we are experiencing it. But we are tempted to see ourselves as the victim of the things that are happening to us, rather than recognizing they are projections of our own thoughts, feelings, emotions, and beliefs. And if we have a lot of defensive thoughts, feelings, and emotional beliefs, then we project outward what appears to be things that are hurting us or outside things that are attacking us. So the Course in Miracles says it looks like we are victims of the things that we ourselves are drawing to ourselves and attracting to ourselves. And then it looks like we are helpless in the presence of all the things that seem to be happening to us, or what it looks like other people are doing to us. So then we need to come up with even more defenses and more ways to protect ourselves and more dreams of how we can protect ourselves, by which illusions of our safety comfort us. So you're fooling yourself if you think you are powerless. You're fooling yourself if you think you are the victim of something that's being done to you. The truth is, you are a creator, and you are creating the experience that you're perceiving, and it looks like it's threatening you, if it looks like it's threatening you, because of the anger and the fear and the grievances that you have inside of yourself. And that anger and those grievances and that fear is being projected onto the world outside of you. And so now it looks like the world is dangerous to you, and they're antagonistic to you, and that there are things out there that you need to be on the lookout for. But what you're really responding to is your own victim consciousness. What you're really responding to is reflections of your own grievances, your own fear, your own sense of danger, in your own sense of threat. If I believe I'm weak, then I've got to create things that make me think I'm weak. If I think I'm weak, then I have to draw relationships to me and people to me who say things to me and do things to me to make me feel like I'm threatened and that I am weak. That's why you have to listen to these classes over and over and over again. There is no friggin' way you're going to listen to the Course in Miracles sort of one time and think you're going to really get the power of what it's talking about. It might happen, but I don't really think it's going to happen that easily. Okay. So where is your strength located? Where is your power located? When you read A Course in Miracles and you're reading it and you come across something in the Course in Miracles that you don't understand, just keep reading. Do not, I repeat, do not try to stop and then analyze and figure out what it means. The Course in Miracles is going to explain itself if you keep on going. Definitely need repetition. That is exactly right. Deep is exactly right. I am doing the Course in Miracles for people who really are ready to get out of this crazy, insane perception of the world where it looks like there's everything in the world frightening us, out to get us all the time. We're upset with people. We're constantly saying we wish somebody was different so we can be happy. If you're ready to get out of your fear and out of your sense of threat, that is what this lesson is about. First of all, defenselessness is strength. So what is defenselessness? We know what defensiveness, now the Course talks about defenselessness. And then it tells you, well, defenselessness, don't you know, defenselessness is strength. So what is defenselessness? Well, it says it testifies to the recognition of the Christ in you. So let's understand when the Course in Miracles talks about the Christ in you, it's talking about the one self that we share, that spiritual being that we truly are, your true self, your loving self. The Course in Miracles calls the Christ your real self, all right? So when you feel strong, then it means you are recognizing the love in you. You're recognizing the light in you. You're recognizing the truth in you, which is what? The Christ in you. Perhaps you will recall the text of A Course in Miracles maintains that your choice is always made between Christ's strength, which is your real self's strength, your loving self's strength, and your own weakness. So you're always choosing between the strength of God in you, the strength of love in you, the strength of your true identity, and your own weakness. And you only see your weakness apart from your true self, your God self, your divine self. When a person loses sight of their divine self, you can tell when a person has lost sight of their divine self. How can you tell when a person has lost sight of their divine self? When they've lost sight of their divine self, they feel afraid and threatened and angry and depressed and sick and broke and lonely. And they feel like they are very mortal. So how can you tell when you have not allowed yourself to tap into your real self? You feel weak in the situation that you're dealing with right now. You would feel weak in the situation that you're in right now, apart from your Christ self, apart from your true self. So defenselessness, what is the truth about defenselessness? Your real strength. Your real strength, your defenselessness can never be attacked. So your real self, your defenselessness, it recognizes a strength so great that attack is folly. Or when you get in touch with your real self, your Christ self, your divine self, it recognizes that attack, or believing you can be attacked, or believing that your true self can be hurt, is a silly game a tired child might play when that child becomes too sleepy to remember what it wants. From the perspective of your divine self, do you know, from the perspective of your true self, your God self, your real self, you would think it was absolutely stupid to think that anything could hurt you or anything could deny you the peace and the love that you deserve as a child of God. So what is the Course in Miracles doing? Well, the Course in Miracles is trying to get rid of everything that you believe. The Course in Miracles is trying to get rid of everything you believe that keeps you from recognizing that you are powerful, that you are innocent, that you are defenseless in strength, that you are the Christ inside of you, the truth inside of you, and that the love inside of you. In other words, the Course in Miracles is trying to get rid of everything that keeps you from believing what it's saying about how beautiful and powerful and holy and innocent and divine you are. So what is defensiveness? Defensiveness is weakness. Defensiveness is weakness. So if you feel weak in this situation, if there's a situation you feel weak in, if there's a relationship you feel weak in, that's a relationship that you feel defensive in, which means you are denying the true self, the love in you. You're denying the truth in you. You're denying your spiritual identity. And in denying your spiritual identity, you experience defensiveness, which is weakness. So defensiveness proclaims that you've denied the Christ, the love in you, and it also, the Course says it means that at some level you're fearing your Creator's anger. You're fearing your Creator's anger. Now, this is a deep question, so don't worry about trying to figure it out right now. It's a deep question I'm about to read. What can save you from your delusion of an angry God? An angry God whose fearful image you believe you see at work in all the evils of the world. What but your illusions? What but your false ideas? What but your own false ideas? What but your own illusions can defend you now when it's really just your false ideas that you're fighting? You're fighting your false ideas about your weakness. You're fighting your false ideas about you not deserving happiness. You're fighting your false idea that you're just a human being that dies one day and that you're not an unlimited spiritual being that has eternal life. You're fighting your illusions, which is the idea that you could be a victim of the world that you see. These are the illusions that you're fighting. When the Course in Miracles talks about fighting illusions, it's talking about you fighting the false ideas that you've made up about yourself, and the false ideas that you have made up about yourself, and the false ideas that you have made up about yourself. And then you project those false ideas of fear and anger that you have about yourself. And then you meet those ideas coming back to you through what appears to be the people and the situations and the circumstances that you're going through in the outside world. But there is a Christ in you, which means there is a love in you. There is a real self in you. There is a divine self in you which is totally invulnerable and can't be hurt, and that is totally defenseless because you can't hurt it. Do you know that part of you? Are you aware of that part of you? Probably not. I know you're not if you're feeling weak, afraid, and defensive, and angry, and sick, and mad about something right now. That is the proof that you don't know your divine self, that you don't know your real self, your Christ self. So the Course in Miracles says you're fighting your false ideas about yourself. Whew. And like I said, I'm going to go as far as I go. I'm always going to cut my classes off at an hour because I'm looking to you to read these lessons all the way through, so that when you go through them with me in terms of learning how to apply them to your everyday life, you will already have read this a few times, so it will be even easier when I go through it. And if you don't have the Course in Miracles book, but you still find yourself drawn to what I'm saying, then still listen to it. Listen to it, because the Course in Miracles says in the next paragraph, we will not play such childish games today. So what is the childish game? We just told you. The childish game is for you to feel like there's anything happening in your experience that you are not the creator of, so therefore you can change your mind and change your purpose, and then you would see your outer reality automatically change. Your physical world changes as your mind changes. So if you see yourself as defensive, then you're seeing yourself as vulnerable and easily hurt and threatened. And if you see yourself that way, then you have to attract situations and circumstances in your perception that make you feel that that's true. So if I'm defensive and I'm expecting attack, then why am I shocked when something comes up in my life that's upsetting me? I'm already expecting things to happen that may be of danger to me and may upset me. So in my defenselessness, which is not approaching my reality as if I'm weak and unloving and unlovable, that is defenselessness, that is strength. So the Course in Miracles says in the next paragraph, we will not play such childish games. Notice that the Course in Miracles calls it what? Defensiveness is a childish game. So what is our true purpose? What is the real reason why you're here? What is the real reason why I'm here? The real reason why I'm here, and the real reason, thank you, Cynthia. That's right. It's very important to remember that the Course in Miracles says the first thing that we need to do is to hear the truth. And then it says, after you hear it, you have to repeat it over and over and over and over and over again. Then it says that when you keep on repeating the truth over and over again, you begin to accept it as partially true with some reservations. Then the Course in Miracles says, then you keep on telling yourself the truth more and more and more and more and more. And then he says you finally seriously consider it, and then you accept it as true. And what happens when you accept something as true? Well, the Course in Miracles says when you accept something as true, then that's when you perceive it all around you in your world, because your perceptions are the result of your thoughts, feelings, emotions, and beliefs, conscious and unconscious. So the Course in Miracles says, now you need to step it up, gang. Says, now your true purpose is to save the world. So what does that mean? Your true purpose is to recognize the truth in the world, that you be the person that is thinking the loving thoughts, the responsible thoughts, the spiritual thoughts. We would not exchange for foolishness. We would not exchange for foolishness. Now, what does the Course in Miracles call foolishness? It's foolish to think that you are by yourself, you're alone, that there's not a God, there's not a higher power, that there's not love, that you don't have a real self that is invulnerable, and for you to think you're a victim of the world that you see, and you don't have any power, and that everything that happens to you is being caused by something outside of you, or for you to believe that everybody else has to change or be different in order for you to be happy. The Course in Miracles calls that foolishness. That's foolishness. That's foolishness. So you want to exchange foolishness for what? Well, the Course in Miracles says, well, you want to change foolishness. You want to change foolishness for the endless joy that fulfilling your function offers you. Whenever I am aware of myself not being peaceful and loving and joyful, I know that that means that I'm not fulfilling my function. When I see other people seeing themselves as weak and defensive and unhappy, I know that it means they are not fulfilling their function. Their function is to save the world. How do you save the world from a Course in Miracles perspective? Through forgiveness. What is forgiveness? Forgiveness is having the correct perception of everything. It's your ability to look at things in such a way that you keep your peace. And because you have peace, you can hear your own inner spiritual guidance. So saving the world is not an outer thing so much as saving the world is a change of perception and a change of belief inside yourself. Because if the world is a projection, if your world is a projection of your thoughts, then in order for you to save the world, you just need to be willing to change your thoughts. Now, you're not going to know that this is true until you try it, okay? You have to use the ideas, and then the ideas will show you that they're true. So the Course in Miracles says, we will not exchange for foolishness the endless joy our function offers us. What is it that we will not do? We would not let our happiness slip by. Stop letting your happiness slip by because a fragment of a senseless dream happened to cross your mind. The Course in Miracles calls this a senseless illusion, a senseless dream. Because nothing that we believe that's making us unhappy is true in the sense that there is nothing other than love. The only thing that will always last permanently is love and oneness. So anything that's not rooted in love, by definition, will end. That's why nothing in this world is eternal or permanent, because the Course in Miracles says there's nothing in this world that's rooted in the idea of oneness. It's rooted in the idea of separateness. And so nothing lasts here, because God loves us too much to let anything other than love exist. So there's no way a person can stay forever in any level of fear or threat or unhappiness, because none of those things are characteristic of love. So one way or another, when you are not giving yourself love, then what's not love in your life is going to end or it's going to transform. So the Course in Miracles says we're going to let go of this senseless dream, these senseless false ideas of separation and fear that we've allowed to cross our minds. And then the Course in Miracles, what else does it say? It says, well, we mistook the figures in this dream, the figures in this physical reality. We think of these as being the child of God, the Son of God. The body is not the child of God. You are the child of God, expressing yourself through a body. So these figures, these bodies walking around, these are not the quote-unquote son or child or spirit of God. The Course in Miracles says we mistook these figures. And we are also mistaking this little tiny instant that we're in right now for eternity. So you are very strong. So what is it that you are being asked to do today? What is it that you are being asked to do? We want to make this practical. What is it that we need to ask? What is it we need to do? The Course in Miracles says we need to look past dreams today. What are dreams? Dreams are things that we think are real and true that are not real and true. You have a dream, you wake up in the morning, you realize that dream was not true. The Course in Miracles calls any false ideas that we have dreams. So we look past dreams mean we're going to look past our false ideas of weakness and defensiveness today. What are we going to do? We're going to recognize we need no defense. Why? Because we were created unassailable. We were created without all thought or wish or dream in which attack has any meaning. We are divine. We are spirit. What we really are as created by God cannot be hurt. So therefore, we don't need defense. If you don't believe you need to be defended, nothing happens for you to defend against, but you'll never probably believe that as long as you feel defensive and you feel the need to attack. Because if you feel the need to attack, that means you feel threatened. And if you feel threatened, that means you think that there is something outside of you or even inside of you that's going to attack you. So you therefore expect attack, and whatever you expect, you create, because you are a creator. You are a spiritual being that is a creator. You are an unlimited mind that creates, a soul that creates. I'm going to keep saying that. You're making a mistake if you think you're just a separate being born just to grow old and die one day, and that in the meantime you are in danger every day of some type, and you try to protect yourself until you die. That's the Course in Miracles says that's hell. That's not reality. That's what you believe because you've been taught to believe that. And then the people that you're around probably are the same way because like attracts like. And so all of a sudden you believe that lie that you need to be defensive all the time. So the Course in Miracles says in defenselessness, which means in recognizing that you are strong and that you are not alone and that God is with you, that higher power is with you, by recognizing the truth, we stand secure, which means we stand serenely certain of our safety now, sure of salvation, sure of our peace, sure we will fulfill our chosen purpose. Because that's our ministry. You're on this earth for a much bigger purpose than getting Christmas presents. It's even though that's wonderful. You have a much greater purpose than you realize for being on this earth, in this dream, in this perception, in this experience. You have a ministry, and a minister is just a messenger. From a Course in Miracles perspective, when a person says they are a minister, they're just saying, I am a messenger. And so you are a messenger. You are here to extend your innocent blessing throughout the world. So that situation that you're worried about, the situation that you feel defensive about, the more you feel defensive and feel like you're being threatened and that something in that situation or circumstance is going to hurt you because you are expecting it to, then you're calling that to yourself. So how do you get past that? I'm going to do a recap in just a minute. The recap in just a minute. Hang in there. I'm a full-time teacher of A Course in Miracles. I do it on a donation basis so that anyone can partake of what I have to share regardless of their financial situation. But at the same time, it is what I do full-time. All right? So I want to thank those of you who see value enough in what I do or feel led to share financially with me. I also want to thank those who do not share financially with me. I'm grateful to everybody that watches. If you'd like to make a financial expression of appreciation, you can go to my website, Earl Purdy, P-U-R-D-Y, earlpurdy.com. You can use Venmo. You can use the Cash App. You can use PayPal. You can use Zelle. All you need is my email address, earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. I'm also available for one-on-one sessions called Clarity Sessions that really we get down into the issue or the circumstance or the problem or the challenge that you're dealing with, and we get down in it and to work through it and give you another way to deal with it and to look at it and to get clarity about it. Go to my website, earlpurdy.com, and it will explain my clarity sessions in detail. And also, those of you who are open to it, I'm also a soul purpose astrologer and numerologist. And if you would like for me to help you from that perspective and using the insights that Spirit give me through astrology and numerology, I'm also available for that also. The Holy Spirit uses whatever we have made as a tool for awakening. On Sundays at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, Sundays 1 p.m. Mountain Time on the Earl Purdy page, the Earl Purdy page on Facebook, I do A Course in Miracles Facebook Live at 1 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time, 1 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time every Sunday. If you're in the Denver, Colorado area and you want to attend in person, it's at 1555 Race Street, R-A-C-E. 1555 Race Street, Denver, Colorado, 80206. Thursday nights here on Facebook on the Earl Purdy page also. On Sundays, you can attend in person and it's online. On Thursdays, it's just online. That's what I'm doing right now. The Hardcore Course in Miracles, 7 p.m. Mountain Time, every Thursday night. Hardcore. Course in Miracles. All of my classes are uploaded to YouTube, and I have hundreds of classes on YouTube that you can watch, as well as lots and lots of classes on Facebook that you can watch. So I'm here just to be truly helpful. Make sure you watch it or listen to it at least 4 times. At least 4 times. Let yourself hear it. Okay? I think that covers everything right now. And again, I want to tell you how grateful I am that you're willing to go deep in A Course in Miracles with me, and you don't need to, and that you're okay with me not being an analyzer where we just sit around and everybody gives their opinion and analyzes the Course in Miracles. That's not the way I teach. The Course in Miracles says the most important thing you can do is hear it and remember it. And that's why I call myself the divine repetition teacher. And that's why I call myself the remembering coach. I'm here to help you remember. And I'm here to help you truly accept the truth of your innocence, your power, and your beauty, and your glory. So here we go. Let me do a quick recap of what we covered, and we're going to continue with this next week because it's really a powerful, powerful lesson. Don't forget, defensiveness is weakness. Defenselessness is strength. How do you get in touch with your strength? You recognize the love, the truth, the Christ in you. That is your divine self. So you're always making a choice. Do you know what you're always making a choice between? Your strength and your weakness. So when you get in touch with your strength and your power, you can never be attacked. You can never be hurt. You would not be attracting a lot of anger, guilt, grievances, and negative situations and circumstances to yourself if you recognized who you truly are. And the Course in Miracles is teaching you how to let go of the blocks to that recognition of who you really are. So remember, when you feel threatened, what's going to happen when you feel threatened is that it's going to make you angry. And when you start feeling angry, it also makes you believe that attack seems reasonable. Attack will seem reasonable when you're angry. It will look like you attacking back or going off with anger would be honestly provoked and would be righteous in the name of self-defense. But really what you're really saying is, ooh, I'm afraid. I'm so weak. I'm so weak that anything that anybody says or does just wreaks havoc on me. This world does not provide safety from that, because this world is a projection of your thoughts, your ideas. That's your world. So to be safe in your world, what do you need to do? You need to get in touch with the strength in you, the power in you. And the Course in Miracles teaches you how to let go of the blocks to the awareness of the love and the power and the strength that you are. For some of you, A Course in Miracles is the spiritual path that will wake you up to the power and the truth that you truly are and you truly deserve. The Course in Miracles is not everybody's path, but I'm here. I'm here for those of you who A Course in Miracles especially is something that you find yourself drawn to, or you see it as your spiritual path, or at least you find yourself compelled to really check it out right now. Because the Course in Miracles makes you aware of who you really are, so that you will stop sacrificing your happiness ever, because you are entitled to miracles. So in your defenselessness, in your strength, your power, that's where your safety lies in this situation that you're dealing with and with this person that you're dealing with. Stop being defensive. Stop being defensive. Stop walking into that situation expecting attack, expecting to be threatened. Because if you defend yourself in the way that most people look at defense, you are asking for attack. Mighty companion, I appreciate you. You know, I tell you every time I do a class, then right after it, I listen to it because I know it's really for me also, which I'm so thankful for. And I'm so thankful for you. I am so grateful to you. So let's take about 10 seconds. Mighty companions, don't forget to read this lesson. We're going to finish it next week. May the Course be with you. And I'm going to check out all the comments. Love you.